Welcome to another episode of the Cat's Corner. I'm your co-host, Big Shug, manager of future Hall of Famers, Ray Kazaya, along with the four-time world karate champion, Ernest the Cat Miller, and we are joined today by the one bad cat, Garett Bischoff. How you doing, Garett?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, this is an honor, and I'm glad to have you here, Garett. Bring cheers up and down my arm to know that I got Garett Bischoff on, baby.
We're Resite. Of course we offer all-inclusive site work. We're Resite. Of course we have a dynamic site crew. We're Resite. We have secure foundations. We're Resite. Of course we're good stewards. Resite redefines the way site work is done. Contact us at resite.com. It's re-site.com.
So, Garett, what have you been up to, man?
Been up to a lot, as you know. I mean, work is really good, so just hustling with that. But as you know, and for those of you that don't, my wife and I have a beautiful 2.5-year-old baby boy that has no off switch whatsoever. So he
awesome.
He keeps little Waylon James Bischoff, or AKA Way J.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, my dad gave him the nickname Way J. So, he keeps us on our toes. That's for sure. Like I said, he's got no off switch. He's not one of those little ones that you can put in front of a cartoon and just let him sit there. That ain't what he's about. He wants to be out riding his bike. He wants to be playing with the dog. He wants to be outside doing something.
So Garett, as a father, that just keep you busy too, right there. He
keeps everybody busy. If you were within a 10 feet circumference of him, you're part of his game.
Well, it only gets better from there. It
Absolutely.
only gets better.
Absolutely. So between that and just life in general, and my wife, she has a very successful tanning salon in South Tampa, Florida here that she runs and operates and also obviously works in. So we own that business. We own the property it sits on. So between being business owners, commercial property owners, my job, which is outside sales for construction material, and then Waylon James there. I mean, if we get to just relax with each other in silence for an hour a night, it's amazing.
Plate's full.
And you live down where you living at these days? Down in Florida,
Clearwater,
right?
Florida. Yeah, Clearwater, Florida, just outside of Tampa.
Wow. Do you ever go over to see Hogan?
I just saw him last Friday. Yep, I just saw him last Friday.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's moving around real good. He looks good. Spirits are good. He's doing great. We were down and we saw him down at he's got a Hogan's Hangout, a little bar right on Clearwater Beach, and 83 weeks and ad-free shows. Actually did a setup down there last week, and he made a surprise run in. He did a little surprise quick appearance, came in, said what's up to everybody, and then popped smoke and left, and had a good so that was cool.
But now let me ask you a question. When you think about this, and how do you feel about this, knowing that people like Hogan, the Macho Man, they grew up like they were your uncles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's funny because my mom and I were having this conversation the other day, or actually my mom, my dad, and we were all sitting around, and I think Conrad was there too, and I kind of touched on that. I grew up around Hogan and Flair and Sting and Macho and guys that I grew up with, like literally watched from the age of 8 or 9, 10 years old, and we were looking back on the early TNA days and the just being able to go from run around in those locker rooms and playing cards with them in the locker rooms before the shows, or them picking on me, or or whatever the case was, to being able to have the opportunity to actually work with those guys once I became an adult in the ring.
Wow.
It's it's like talk about come full circle. You know what I mean? I mean, that was such an honor for me to be able to get into the ring and have the opportunity to get in the ring and work with the guys that I grew up with watching. Not a lot of people get to do that. Not a lot of people get to actually live their dream to become a professional wrestler, much less have the opportunity to work with the guys that, you grew up hanging out with as a kid. And, I mean, Rick Steiner taught me how to play gin rummy in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So see, that's what most people, if they don't know already, Gary is now, he's a professional wrestler too. You still doing some shows and stuff, right?
Yes, every now and then, about a couple times a year, I still do one. I have one coming up next month in Melbourne, Florida. ALW, great guy, Alex Red. He's bringing me and my old partner, Wes Briscoe, back up there for a little reunion match. So that should be fun.
But see,
are you tagging? Or are you going one-on-one with Wes?
We're tagging.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So people see this smile on your face and you're a pro wrestler, but they don't know you're a badass karate guy too. You got your black belt from a famous instructor. Now, who was your instructor?
Oh man, what was his name? Cool guy too. The one and only Ernest the Cat, Mr. Miller. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! Now you still what's your you look at your arms. You look like you're in great shape. What are you doing to stay in shape?
I don't get to do as much as I like to do. Just as we talked about a minute ago, just time restricted. But I try to be in the gym at least 4 days a week, hitting weights. I don't go heavy like I used to anymore, just because it's tearing my joints up. Years of heavy lifting kind of got to me. But if I'm in, and I try to watch what I eat. I eat pretty healthy. Weekends I tend to splurge, pizza and chicken wings and adult beverages. But for the most part, Monday through Friday, I hit the gym after work. And, my wife and I are both pretty health conscious people, and what we eat, that's 75, 80% of it is what you're putting in your body. So I just try to just hit the weights and eat right. And
now let me ask you this, Garett. How old were you when you first hit the ring, became a pro wrestler, your first debut? How old were you then?
God, 25.
25.
25, 26.
And how exciting was it to be in the ring the first time?
Once the nerves wore off, it was very exciting. It was nerve-wracking, because before I got in to be a wrestler, I was a referee. If you remember, I was Jackson James, the referee.
Wow.
So it was there was two reasons for that. One of it was a different kind of learning experience for me. You learn things when you're in the position of as an official. You get to see things and be a part of things and learn things in a way that you can't learn any. I mean, it's a very unique learning experience. And I was very fortunate to have Brian and Earl Hebner as take me under their wing.
Earl Hebner, one of my favorite.
He's the man.
I got to get him on because he got some great stories.
Oh God, he's got so many stories. You might need to have him sign a waiver first, but yeah, he's got great stories.
Oh man.
But no, so I got to, and Brian Hebner's been doing this forever too, and he's a legend in his own right. So being able to be under the tutelage of them and learn, and if you recall, we didn't tell people who I really was. I went under a fake name. Nobody knew that I was Garett Bischoff. Nobody knew that I was Eric Bischoff's son. Not even the locker room. We kayfabed everybody.
Oh yeah. So who was the first person to find out that you were Eric Bischoff's son?
Well, the Hebners, they knew. They were the first ones to know, because we needed I needed an ally. I needed someone that really knew who I was and knew why I was there, but would also be willing to look past the fact of who I was, and that I was there to learn and do it the right way. So they knew. After that, Shannon Moore picked up on it pretty quick, because we used to know each other. Yeah, because we knew each other from back in Atlanta.
Did you ever work Shannon Moore?
Yeah, at TNA, yeah. Yeah,
Man, I bet that was a great match, man. How was that?
We had fun. Yeah, it was a ball. That was back when him and Jesse Neal were running together. And we used to run house shows when we did house show loops together. We'd all, me and Shannon would ride together. I'm still good friends with him to this day. In fact, I'll probably see him tonight. Unfortunately, we have one of the good brothers left this world last 2 weeks ago, and today's the services for him. So we're gonna go pay our respect.
Who is that?
Frankie Chiazzo. He was
I remember Frankie.
Yeah, man, he was a really good dude, especially here in Florida. Very well known, very big heart. Always helped the young guys get shots. He did a lot with the TNA and helping guys get dark matches up there. He had a training facility here, so just a really good guy. Really, really passionate. Really loved the business.
Well, I talked to you about my friend Big Ray over there. Ray is a book of knowledge about pro wrestling. I think he's.
Yeah, thank you, Kat. Appreciate
it. So really, Ray, if you got any questions for Garett, speak right up. It looked like he went out. Well, I'd love to, but it looked like he went out. But what we gonna keep doing, Ray. We ain't gonna talk about
rolling right along. We're gonna keep rolling right along.
The only thing we're not going to talk about is the Vince McMahon stuff. We're not going to talk about that because I just don't want to.
I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm done talking about it.
Okay,
you shit on me your last time.
Hey, come on, man. What are you doing?
Sorry about that.
Hey, Garett, that's all right. Hey, Garett, were you ever in the military?
No.
You carry yourself like a military man, and I mean that with all due respect. You do.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nope, that was just due to good upbringing and good mentors like Mr. Miller.
Right on. Do you get out to see your dad a lot out where he's at? And is it Montana? Is that where he's at?
They're out in Cody, Wyoming.
That's it.
Yep. And, we don't get out there as much as we'd like to just because of it's hard to travel that far with the little guy.
Oh, yeah. With a small
he doesn't like to. Yeah, he doesn't like to sit still that long. Like I said, he's got no off switch, and that's about an 8-hour travel day. So that's a little tough. But we're talking about maybe heading out there in September. He'll be 3 years old by then, and we're talking about maybe heading back out there then. But they were just here. They come down here quite a bit. My mom and dad they like to come visit and get a lot of grandparent time in. And especially this time of year in Wyoming, it's cold.
Now let me ask you something, Garett. What's the one thing you love about being? I mean, this is a pro wrestling based podcast, so I want to. There's so many things I know about you, but what I want to do is get your feel for wrestling from you. What's your favorite thing about pro wrestling? Being a pro wrestler,
man, it's hard to pick up one favorite thing. I mean, you've been in it longer than I have. But it's being part of a locker room, being part of something like this, and especially on the scale that we were, you were on, and that I was able to be on, and it's a unique thing to be. It's a special thing to be a part of, and it's something that 1% of the people get the chance to really do and experience on that level. I'm not putting indies down in any way, shape, or form, because indies are the backbone of professional wrestling.
What's the indie? I mean,
the independent
circuit. I never been there. I went straight to the top.
You went straight to pro.
Yeah.
You went straight to pro. But But to be a part of something on that level and that locker room, it's something that's to be accepted in it is not only accepted, but pushed in a positive way, and the friendships and bonds that you create in that locker room, that's something that nobody can take away from you. It's a very unique thing that if you get the chance to be a part of is very special, whether it's for a short amount of time or a long period of time. That means a lot. And I may see things different than the average person just because of my family, and my dad. To me, it was important. To me, spending all those years watching my dad in the business and growing up around it, I really wanted to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. So when I was able to be a part of it, when I got that chance, and then on top of it, have the opportunity to work with my dad together in the ring on TV and run that program that we had, that was awesome. You know, that's something that I'll take with me forever.
And I'm gonna tell you this, Garett. With what I know about you, man, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if I see you in the future and your dad plays running one of the biggest wrestling shows around. It wouldn't surprise me with all the knowledge, the charisma you have. I'm telling you, it wouldn't surprise me to see you, back on that big stage doing some big things. Now, have you thought about doing like office work or getting, I don't want to say back into wrestling, but have you thought about doing something there, continuing your career in wrestling?
I mean, the thought's always there. As you know, this is blood in, blood out kind of thing. Once you're in it, you're in it for life. There's no getting away from it. There's no such thing as retiring when you're a professional wrestler. You just take long breaks. Mm-hmm. So yes, obviously. But it would really have to be the right opportunity and the right circumstances, the right timing. I'm not going to dive back into just going out and jumping on the road 250 days a year. That wouldn't bode well for my family life or what we have going on at the time.
Oh, no.
The little guy at home, But then again, depending on what the situation is, and money talks, just like any other thing. You know what I mean? So, it's the thought's always there. It's always there. I never say never.
And do you know the reason I say that, man? That you're just so smart, man. You never know. And this one thing I learned in pro wrestling. They say you'll never know who'll be running those books. So it's wise to be good to everybody you meet because you'll never know who'll be running the show. When we met Johnny Ace, when I met Johnny Ace was just like a little dude boy in the locker room in WCW. No one would listen to him. No one would do anything he asked them to do. There's no respect. But then all of a sudden, the next time I saw him, he running WWE. He's running the shows. Now, I know Ray gonna want to say something about him and Vince McMahon, but I'm gonna keep that out. We're not going there. We ain't gonna talk about the situation with Vince.
Never said a word.
I know you want to. We gonna keep that out the show. I just, I want this to be a feel good kind of situation. Cause Garett is a positive person.
I have a question.
What's up?
Garett, do you watch the current product? And if you do, what are some likes and dislikes? And who do you like? Who's your favorite guy right now?
I do glance at it every now and then. I do not sit down and watch 3 hours of it. I don't know how anybody does personally, but I do try to catch it every now and then, flipping through on Monday nights. I'm really enjoying seeing what Cody's going to do. There's obviously a lot of history there with, I can remember being over at Dusty's house when I was a kid and, Cody, not that we are ever best friends by any means, but it's really cool to see him doing what he's doing. So I'm anxious. I like seeing that. I was always a big fan of Nick Nemeth. So he's over at AEW now. I was always a big fan of watching him work. I think he's one of the most underrated workers out there. Watching him go, he can go. The boy can go, and he's entertaining as hell.
He's in TNA. He's in TNA right now, right? Not AEW. Did he?
TNA.
Did he sign with AEW?
Did I say TNA? No,
TNA has made a real surge here lately.
Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say. Let Garett finish telling this story. Shut your mouth. Come on, Garett.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead, Garett.
Listen here.
Go ahead.
See, if you were actually in an office, not in your truck, you wouldn't be busting your chops like that.
See, exactly.
I know it.
No, so I enjoy watching those guys. Obviously, guys like Gallows and Anderson. Gallows that's someone I'm still tight with. I just talked to him about 30 minutes ago. I told him he was coming on your podcast, and he told me to tell you what's up.
Good.
So I'll be heading out.
We need to get the good brother. We need to get the good brother on here.
Hey, I could probably. I'll let him know today. I'll let him know.
Do that.
So there's a handful of guys I really enjoy watching. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. I really like his style. He's a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, those are the guys that I like. Those are the guys I enjoy watching. As far as dislikes, I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch enough to feel like I deserve to be a critic in any way, shape, or form. I think, I think there could be a little bit more creativity going on as far as I feel like corners get cut every now and then just to get stuff out there, just to fill content. But that happens. You know what I mean? They got a lot of stuff to fill, a lot of content needed. And it's not an easy job to do. I think they're doing the best they can with what they got. They know what they're doing. It'll change. It always does.
Well, you know what, man? Oh, yeah. How old are you now, Garett?
I'm 39. I'll be 40 in April.
I didn't start wrestling until I was like 37. I was 37 when I started wrestling.
Was that? Were you 37? That was
I was 37 then. I was 37. Your father asked me when I was 35. He asked me to come and work for him. But it took me a little while to let loose of my karate just to get there. But once I got there, man, I tell everybody, Garett Bischoff is one person in my life who I'm talking about. He did everything he said he was gonna do. It's like sometimes I hesitate to go out on a limb just because somebody tell me, hey, I got you if you fall. I'm going to be there for you if you need me. Eric told me those things that he got me to come into a world of wrestling, something I knew nothing about. And this brother did everything he said he was going to do for me. He supported me. He helped me. He guided me. So, listen, bro, I'm so glad you and I had that relationship before I met your father, because I want you to know. Go ahead, Garett.
No, I was just saying. So that I was gonna just pony off what you were saying. That was 2 years of you teaching me martial arts and me learning under you, and I didn't realize that till you just said that. I didn't know it'd been that long. I thought it would happen a lot quicker than that.
Yeah. So listen, this is what we're gonna have today. We're gonna have something a little different. I invited one fan. Ray, are you there, Ray?
Do you think I've left?
Well, you need to say hello. So listen, I invited one fan to come on and ask one question who's been watching this show to come on and answer. So he's here now. So Garett, I'm gonna bring him in, let him ask one question. Is that good?
That's good, baby. Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. So Mr. Hollywood, go ahead and ask. First of all, you got to let the speaker. We can't hear you.
Unmute your mic.
There you go. So listen, Mr. Reed, you from Atlanta. We've seen you on the show a couple of times. We know you are a diligent listener of the Cat's Corner. Go ahead and ask the question.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. I've been a huge fan of this show, huge fan of you too, Ernest Miller. And I just want to know one thing. This is first of all, my name's Hollywood Reed, let everyone know. And I just want to know one thing. Did Vince McMahon offer you a blowjob in order to get
wait a minute, wait. Hey.
Didn't
I just say we're not talking about that? Man, get him the fuck off here. Get him off here.
Bye, Felicia.
We ain't gonna get him the fuck off of here. Okay. All right. He's still here.
Dang,
somebody help me get him off here.
Oh, okay. Bye, guys.
And he talking about all that.
Yeah, go get off of
He's
here.
standing in front of San Francisco's bridge. Oh, man.
Hey, somebody call his mama.
Somebody call my mama. Ooh, yeah. Hollywood, got a little X-rated.
All right. He's gone.
There's the before. There's the before picture. Now he ain't gone. He ain't gone.
He's gone, man.
Before picture.
Anyway, he's muted. He'll never be on this show again, Garett. I'm sorry about that, Garett. You get one jerk who come on, and this is something new, Garett. This is something new. We're just trying to have a nice, easy conversation. And I've been saying the whole time, I'm not coming. we're not gonna talk about Vince McMahon. And the first guy come on is this chump right here. Man, I wish I had that dude in front of me, Gary. I'll beat the living hell out of him.
Man, we slapped the shit out of somebody, won't we?
Yeah, but you know, he's on, he come on the show all the time. That's what I'm saying. He's on, and he's really nice. But this time he just took it too far. So anyway, he's out here. He'll never be back.
He took it too far. You think he went a little too far?
Yeah, man, he took it a little too far. So Garrett, so tell me, Garrett, I'm sorry about that interruption, but
yeah, we good, brother. We good.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I had to curse him out in front of you like that, you know. But he deserved it, though.
Wow.
He deserved it.
Yes, my sensitive ears, they hurt.
Oh wow.
So Garrett, so tell me what you got coming up in the future that you're looking forward to. If it's in wrestling, if you think, come on, give me something juicy. Are you thinking about going back to wrestling? You think about doing anything else in wrestling? You think about, I mean, what's up with you?
Man, so, you know, as far as outside of work and all that stuff goes, I mean, like I said, I got that show coming up next month at ALW. It's going to be February 23rd. So we're looking forward to that. And actually, me and Briscoe are working, I know Chavo Guerrero Jr. and I forget who's tagging with him, but that's going to be fun. Me and Briscoe against Chavo Guerrero. And I love Chavo. You know, we go way back too. So that's going to be a good time. Really looking forward to that. Great guy. Outside of that, you know, I participate in an organization called Bikers Against Child Abuse. And I'm very passionate about that. If you're not familiar with that, it's bacaworld.org. That's BACA world.org. I encourage people to check that out. And we're in 48 states and 19 countries. There's over 3,000 active patch members. So that's something I'm very involved in. We empower children to not be afraid in the world in which they have to live.
So you're a biker. You ride.
I am a biker.
How often do you ride?
Man, I try. I mean, I'm on my bike probably at least 4 days a week. I'm out.
And you guys travel like as a biker's gang, right? You have a bunch of you guys, right?
Yeah, we don't use the word gang. We're an organization. It's an organization.
Organization, all right. But you guys look like a gang when I see all you mean tattoo guys riding together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So my chapter, we're running about 15 strong in my chapter, and we have 9 chapters in the Florida area.
What's the name of your chapter?
It's BACA, BACA.
Okay. So that is the name of the organization.
That's the name of the organization. Okay, yep. And then my chapter is Bay Bridges. You know, that's my local chapter, is Bay Bridges chapter. But yeah. But if you go
you're not with the Hells Angels or any of those guys or nothing like that.
No. We are a neutral organization, and our sole mission is to help empower children.
So you know, I remember when you first started on your motorcycle crusade.
Yeah.
I remember. I think you might have been about 12 years old, Ray. He might have been about 12 years old.
Probably younger than that.
Yeah, sometime after the practice, working with me, I'll drop him off at home, right? So I'll drive into his neighborhood, drop him off at home, and then I'll head back out. And before I can get outside of the community or neighborhood, here he come on the dirt bike. I mean, fast. I mean, just jumping over stuff. And he'll meet me before I get out of the neighborhood just to wave bye to me. He'll turn back off and go back home, man. He's about 12 years old. So to see him now with the tattoos, and he was a little blonde hair kid with the nice smile. I mean, but he was one tough guy. Tough kid.
One bad cat, baby. Cat.
Listen, out about maybe hundreds of kids, no lie. I got 2 or 3 of them that's my favorite. And most of them were chosen to be my favorite because they were tough kids. They were kids who didn't give up, didn't quit, didn't pout. I mean, if he did not get it during the daytime, guess what? He'll stay out the class and say, Mr. Miller, can you work with me on this? And then he'll go home and work with his father, who was also at the time, I didn't know was a black belt, was Garett Bischoff. I didn't know. I said, Garett, listen, work on this front kick this way. Front kick, he said he work on it. Then the next day he come back, and the front kick is not just better, it's really good. I was like, wait a minute, how did you do that? He said, well, my dad is a black belt. And I said, okay, so his dad might be a real black belt because he was using techniques and taking it to a different level that I was teaching the day before.
Yep.
So Garett's a tough guy, man. He always been kind of like a cowboy kind of karate guy. You know, we got the karate guy that
cowboy karate. Look
yes.
Got his boots on, baby.
And I just want to brag on it one time, man. The dude didn't listen. I heard Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant said they get there before a game, 2 hours before a game, and then they work out after the game. Garett was just like that as a martial artist and as a person. He would be the first one to get there, practicing up what we gonna use that day, and then he will be the last one to leave. So this guy right here, man, is a diligent worker. I mean, he's just a great person, man. And now look how big his arms are. I'm looking from here, I see big arms, and Ray, I see a big belly. Ray, if you got something to ask him, okay, go ahead and ask Garett a question.
This is a tool shed. This is a tool shed, but you wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, yes, I would. I can see it. It's covered up with a great deal.
I appreciate the kind words, Mr. Miller. You know, I tell people this all the time. People in earlier podcasts, you know, they always ask me, say, who's a mentor to you when you're growing up? Who'd you look up to when you're growing up? And obviously, my dad always instilled certain levels of respect in me because he came from the martial arts world, and that's how he raised me. And then you were always the second person. I said, Mr. Miller is someone who's been in my life since I was a little kid, and the same level of just respect for others, and how to treat people and how to just be a good human being is something that you always not just in me, you instilled in all your students. Some of them may not have listened or taken it the way they should have, but I saw you teach it, and I know you've always been super passionate about that. And that's one of those things that, once again, that's stuff that I'll pass along to my son. Stuff that you taught me and I learned from you. That's stuff that I'm passing along to my kid. And that's,
And when people ask me, Garett, I was, like I said, I was in my 20s, late 20s. And it was more like you was a little brother. It wasn't like no uncle this, because I was young too. I was learning too. But Garett was like a little brother that, he gonna be there. Soon I hear the doorbell. We had this little bell to ring every time somebody came into the dojo. And then I look in the mirror, be Garett running around with his little karate bag on his back, going to get dressed. And I mean, it's just wonderful memories, man. And I'm glad I was a part of his life, man. And I want to continue to be, a rock in that foundation, watching you grow and watching your kid grow.
Well, he's going to be at that age soon where we're going to have to start putting him on that mat. So I expect Uncle Ernest to be there.
Now, are you talking about karate stand-up, jiu-jitsu? Because you got a boxing. What are you thinking about? Wrestling?
I really would like to get into jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I'd really like to start that as a foundation and then move him, whereas me, I don't regret, obviously I started with karate and stand-up and then tried to transform into the other stuff. But I think I'd like to, especially these days, it's a different day and age. It's a different time. And just on a self-defense form or platform, I think, groundwork is very important. And then you pair that with gymnastics and some wrestling. And then once he's at that age, he's already got such a ground platform that, you could be a little Bruce Lee at that point.
Wow. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to see that you following through with that. But Big Ray, we're going to let you recite that commercial. Won't you hit the recite our sponsorship before
Recite
we get off?
For all your construction needs. There's only one phone number to call, and that's Recite. Check them out.
Now, can you do it in Stone Cold voice? Let's see Stone Cold give it to us.
Stone Cold said, if you've got any construction needs at all, son, the best damn thing you can do is pick up the phone and call Recite. What? I said call Recite. What? You heard me. Recite. And that's the bottom line, because Big Shug said so.
Okay, one more. Let's get who you want. Give me one more.
I'm impressed.
Give me one more,
Well, let
Big
me
Ray.
tell you something, Garrett. I might not be your uncle anymore, dude, but let me tell you, brother, when you come to Hogan's Hangout, you come Monday night for the karaoke, you stay for the tequila, bruh, if you feel me.
I am impressed.
Ooh,
Nicely done.
I'm
Nicely
not
done.
your uncle either, brother. I was a cup of coffee in big time with your dad. Yeah. Slim Jim, I snapped into a couple of those, brother.
All right,
Anyway,
I'm gonna have to.
That's what we do here on the Cat's Corner.
And Garrett, listen, man. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for giving us your time, man.
Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate it.
And I'll let you know when we release this, man, because I wanted it to be a good one, and it was, a lot of information to put out there.
Well, I appreciate it. No, thank you for having me on, and I'd love to do it again. I know there's a lot more we could jive about and talk about. We can do part two.
We already know that, Big Garrett.
Absolutely.
So anytime, man, just let me know, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right.
Hey, and remember my buddy Brandon Lenzen from the neighborhood.
Say that again, Garrett.
You remember my buddy Brandon from the neighborhood?
Yes. Yeah, I remember him.
I talked to him this morning. He wanted me to tell you what's up.
Oh, man, yeah, I remember that dude. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's got a beautiful family and a great business. He does a bunch of hardscape business up there. And where is he? I forgot where he's living at now, but he's about 30, 40 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing great. Got a beautiful big family, and he's really doing well.
Well, Garrett, listen,
Garrett, it was an absolute pleasure.
It was fun to have you, Garrett. And I want to tell you this. I still want to apologize for Mr. Hollywood coming on, trying to ruin my show. So I hung up on him as fast as I could. So anyway,
it was a pleasure having you on. We feel like we've watched you grow up on camera. As a mark, as he calls me, from Ray, your first match.
Ray, your voice, your mic is going out. You don't sound. That's what you get for being in your car. So I'm gonna shut you off too. Hey, Garrett, thanks for coming, man. I look forward to seeing you in 2. Okay.
All right, bro. Love you. Hey, thank you.
All right, love you too. All right, dear.
Hey,
bye.